The annual frenzy of Black Friday was upon us. I was waiting for my boyfriend at a dessert cafe, scrolling through my phone to pass the time. My feed was a predictable parade of deals and desires, but then my roommate, Chloe's post stopped me cold. She had shared a ridiculously long screenshot of her overflowing online shopping cart with the caption, "Is there a big strong man out there who wants to clear this for little old me?" I was about to swipe past it when a new comment popped up beneath her post. It was from my boyfriend, Evan. For simple, devastating words, "Send me the link." I froze, the world narrowing to the glowing screen in my hand. I tapped on his profile picture, then on our chat window as if cross-referencing reality. There was no mistake. It was him, Evan, my boyfriend of 3 years. Our last chat message sent just 5 minutes ago was still there. "Babe, meeting's almost done. I'll be there in half an hour. Might not be able to check my phone till then. Love you." My mind reeled. I went back to Chloe's post, rereading his comment again and again, willing it to be a mirage. The message I'd sent him a minute ago remained unread. How could the man I'd been with for 3 years suddenly offer to buy another woman a cart full of gifts? A sour, bitter taste filled my mouth. My first instinct was to screenshot their exchange and throw it in his face. "This is you not being able to check your phone?" But a small, foolish part of me held on to the hope that it was just a joke. Still, when had he and Chloe become so close? I distinctly remembered him telling me, early in our relationship, that he didn't even like her. My mind drifted back to 3 days ago, when I playfully asked him what he was getting me for Black Friday. He had just laughed. "A princess like you doesn't need me to buy her things." Seeing my face fall, he had quickly added, "I just mean I'm afraid you won't like whatever I pick. You're used to a life of luxury, babe. I don't want you to feel like you're settling for less with me." "Don't worry," he'd promised. "I have a little surprise planned." I still didn't know what that surprise was. But this comment on my roommate's post was a surprise of a different magnitude entirely. By the time Evan rushed into the cafe, my expression was a mask of ice. He assumed I was upset about his tardiness and spent several minutes trying to coax a smile out of me. I forced myself to remain calm. I wouldn't confront him until I had all the facts. "I'll go order," he said, winking. "I'll get you your favorite puddings, Mia." I managed a tight nod, a knot forming in my stomach. I couldn't reconcile the man who remembered every single one of my favorite desserts with the man who would offer to empty another woman's shopping cart. As he turned to leave, I handed him my phone. "Here, you can pay with this." Throughout our relationship, I'd been acutely aware of his financial struggles as a scholarship student. I had always paid for our dates, so he didn't find the request suspicious. He left his own phone on the table. A moment later, the screen lit up with a notification. "Chloe. Thanks, big bro. You're the best sugar daddy. Love you, moi." "Chloe. If it weren't for you, Evan, I could never afford this bag." OMG, crying. I couldn't resist. I picked up his phone and unlocked it. We had exchanged passcodes in our second year together, a gesture of trust. I'd only ever checked his phone that one time. Our relationship had felt so solid, so secure, that the thought of him cheating had never crossed my mind. Now, scrolling through their chat history, I felt as though I'd been plunged into an icy abyss. The screen was filled with pet names like Baby Girl and Hubby. I saw messages where Chloe complained about me, and Evan readily agreed. Scrolling further up, I found the message that shattered my last hope. "Chloe. So when are you going to break up with her?" Evan's reply soon. There it was. The proof I had simultaneously sought and dreaded. The air in my lungs turned to lead. I had just dropped his phone back on the table when he returned, carrying a tray of desserts. My face must have been a horror show because before he could even ask what was wrong, I stood up abruptly. My voice was as cold as my expression. "I've lost my appetite. I'm leaving." Back at the dorm, before I could even think about confronting Chloe, she cornered me, her face a mask of indignation. "What is wrong with you?" she demanded. "Evan went to all that trouble to order for you, and you just walk out on him?" The audacity of it, the other woman chastising me. As far as I knew, Evan and I were still technically together. I laughed, a harsh, bitter sound. "What's it to you? How do you know about it, anyway? Are you two that close?" Her self-righteous expression faltered. She opened her mouth, then closed it, ultimately storming out of the room without another word. A few minutes later, her new social media post appeared. A picture of the very desserts Evan had ordered for me, my favorite puddings included. Evan had already liked the post. This time I didn't pretend not to see. I liked it too. The notification of a mutual friend's like must have alerted her, because the post was quickly hidden. Almost immediately, a message from Evan popped up. Evan. Babe, don't overthink it. The desserts couldn't be taken to go, and I saw her passing by, so I just gave them to her. Evan. Why were you so upset earlier? Please tell me. I didn't reply. Chloe returned to the room, a triumphant smirk on her face, and started blasting audio from a game on her phone. When I took off my headphones and glared at her, she just giggled. Wanna play, Mia? We're short one player. My first instinct was to refuse, but then I remembered. While I had little interest in the game, Evan was obsessed with it. So obsessed that I had bought him a top-tier account with every available skin. A gift that cost a small fortune. To test a theory, I nodded. Sure. I logged into my own rarely used account. Chloe eagerly sent me a friend request and pulled me into their game lobby. I saw the familiar couple's icon next to his name and let out a cold, humorless laugh. Just as I suspected. Evan was there, and he and Chloe had a bro tag next to their names. Evan seemed shocked to see me. Mia. He stammered into his mic. I didn't think you'd want to play, so I didn't ask. The reason I rarely played was simple. Evan was a competitive player obsessed with his rank, and I was a novice. If I played a support character who got banned, or if my mistakes cost him a match, the tension between us would become suffocating. Today, however, I felt no pressure at all. When the other players realized I was Evan's girlfriend, the voice chat erupted with teasing. Chloe whined. She's not your girlfriend. What are you all getting so excited about? Let's just start the game. In the character selection screen, she instantly locked in a support role. Evan hesitated but said nothing. With all the other roles taken, I was left with the ADC position. Evan was the jungler, and from the moment the game started, Chloe stuck to him like glue. I was repeatedly ganked and killed in the bottom lane. Finally, one of Evan's friends spoke up. Hey Evan. Maybe you should go help out bot lane. Chloe shot back defensively. You help the winning lane, not the losing one, don't you know that? Mia's tough, she can handle the pressure. Don't underestimate her. Her words were dripping with insinuation. I had no interest in continuing this charade. I went back to our base and stood there, effectively quitting the match. I watched as Evan with Chloe by his side heroically dominated the game. The two of them had a seamless chemistry, and it was clear his other friends were familiar and friendly with her too, laughing and joking in the chat. When Evan returned to base to heal, his character paused next to mine. Mia, he said, his voice laced with guilt, stick with me. I'll protect you. Whatever lingering fantasy I had about him shattered in that moment. No thanks, I said flatly, then addressed his friends. Sorry guys, I'm not really feeling it today. We don't need you. Chloe snapped. Play or don't, who cares? But Evan grew anxious. He took winning and losing very seriously. Come on Mia, don't do this. The guys are trying to rank up. Yeah Mia, it's all Evan's fault, another friend chimed in. We'll rough him up for you. My resolve was firm. Let's just surrender this one. As compensation, I'll clear everyone's Black Friday shopping carts. I added. Anything under $2,000, just send me the bill. The voice chat went dead silent. A few seconds later, a surrender vote popped up. Damn Mia. A couple of stars is nothing. Only 2 people voted no. Evan's voice was tight with anger. Mia, what are you talking about? Is this some kind of joke? Or do you just have so much money you don't know what to do with it? Chloe joined in, trying to placate me. Yeah Mia, don't be mad. We can still win this. My tone was unwavering. Or we can all just AFK. Add me as a friend in the meantime. While Evan and Chloe desperately tried to salvage the game, the other 2 players had already stopped moving. I gave them my contact info and 2 friend requests came through almost instantly, as if they were afraid I'd change my mind. Oh, by the way, I added coolly, Chloe, I won't be clearing your cart. Looks like you've already found someone for that. Evan's frantic commands over the mic ceased. The chat fell silent again. Then, another surrender vote appeared. This time only 1 person voted no. Evan, how could you guys? Chloe shrieked. We were totally winning this. Her protest was cut off by the gleeful shouts of the other 2. Mia, you're a legend. You're my one and only big sis from now on. Oh my god. I've been wanting this mechanical keyboard for ages. Thank you, Mia. Who cares about a stupid star? Just say the word, Mia. If you want to lose more games, we're right there with you. I chuckled softly. Before I could say anything, Chloe slammed her hand on her desk and shot up from her chair. What is wrong with you people? Who wants to lose games with you? Her voice turned syrupy sweet as she addressed the others in the chat. Guys, where's your competitive spirit? What competitive spirit? This is the latest model mechanical keyboard. It's almost $2,000. I couldn't bring myself to buy it. Mia's the real deal. Chloe stared at me in disbelief. I had no desire to play this game any longer. You're welcome, I said. I'm logging off. As my voice faded, Evans followed. Then I'm logging off too. The second I left the voice chat, a call request from him popped up. I silenced my phone and started packing. The only reason I lived in the dorms was for the convenience of attending classes with him. As for Chloe, I had tolerated her for far too long. The calls continued for a while. Eventually, Evan gave up and called Chloe. I watched her answer with a smug grin, which quickly morphed into a furious pout as she listened. Why don't you call her yourself? She snapped. A moment later, she reluctantly walked over to me. Evan's on the phone for you. I don't need it, I said, zipping up my suitcase. And while you're at it, tell him we're done. I turned and walked out. Chloe's gleeful voice followed me. You heard that, didn't you, Mia? You said it yourself. Then into the phone. Evan, did you hear that? She's the one who wants to break up with you. You're so rich and she doesn't even appreciate you. She's going to regret this. Her voice was cut off as the elevator doors slid shut. Alone in the descending car, I finally let out a laugh. Rich. Who Evan? He came from a poor rural family. When we first met, he was working part-time in the cafeteria for $10 an hour. The elevator was already moving. I couldn't be bothered to explain. I opened my phone to dozens of messages from Evan. Most were pleas for a chance to explain, insisting there was nothing between him and Chloe. But mixed in were a few complaints about me spending money on his friends. That keyboard, Mia, can you return it? What kind of keyboard costs almost $2,000? You don't know Chris, he loves buying useless junk. Babe, didn't we always say we should spend our money wisely? I only sent him 2 replies. The first, what does my money have to do with you? The second, get lost. Then I blocked him. 3 years. It wasn't easy to just sever it all. Back in my hotel room as I set down my luggage, my head was still spinning. Were we really over just like that? A moment later, my phone vibrated. I stared at it for a while before picking it up. In that short time, Chloe had sent me several messages. See this? It's the latest spring collection from Chanel. Evan bought it for me. So what if you used Evan's money to suck up to his friends? Let me tell you, I despise poor, vain country bumpkins like you most of all. Oh right. I'd forgotten to block this lunatic too. With a blank expression, I sent the lovebirds into my block list together. Chloe's vitriol had, at least, managed to quell some of my sadness. After a fitful nap, my rationality returned. There were still a few accounts I needed to settle with Evan. Holding my nose, I unblocked him. The moment I reset the password on the game account I'd given him, a message came through. Mia, was that you who logged into the game? I had bought the account and all the skins on it. Of course I knew the password. Seeing that his message had gone through, Evan was ecstatic. Mia, you're not mad anymore? I'm so sorry about yesterday. I was just joking with Chloe. I would never actually clear her cart. Are our 3 years together worth less than a single joke? Black Friday is in a few days. The gift I bought you is shipping out today. Please believe me, babe, I only love you. He rambled on. Half an hour later, I sent him a screenshot from a trading platform. I had sold the top-tier game account. Because I'd listed it at a ridiculously low price, it had been snapped up within a minute. Evan was silent for a long time. Then, a single question mark appeared. I replied with another screenshot. It was the joint payment account I had set up for him. It had a monthly limit of $5,000. Just yesterday, he had spent over $4,800. The total matched Chloe's shopping cart down to the last cent. I had only discovered it when I went to close the account. The sheer audacity of it made me laugh. He was using my money to spoil another woman. The moment Evan saw the picture, he sent a flurry of voice messages. Mia, why did you suddenly decide to check this today? It really wasn't for her. Didn't I tell you I bought you a gift? You'll know when you get it. My baby's Black Friday gift is worth that much, of course. I had never bothered to check his spending on that account before, so I had turned off the notifications. When I didn't reply, he continued. And the account, how could you sell it just because we had a fight? I got it up to diamond rank and you sold it for so cheap. I know you're not short on cash, Mia, but we need to have good spending habits. I didn't listen to the rest. I just sneered. Good spending habits, huh? Then I guess I don't need such an expensive gift either. Return it. We'll talk after you've done that. This time the silence on his end was much longer. Then he asked, if I return it, can we not break up? I replied with a simple one. I muted my notifications and headed back to school for a lecture I had signed up for. As fate would have it, Chloe was there too. She sidled up to me, her voice dripping with fake sweetness. You know? Evan cleared my cart for me this year. She began, not so subtly bragging. I used to be so jealous of you buying thousands of dollars of makeup like it was nothing. Now I have it too. Is that so? Congratulations, I said flatly. She continued, her voice syrupy. I don't know what's wrong with him though. He suddenly told me his card was maxed out. Then he used a different one and bought everything for me again and even got me some extra stuff to make up for it. You really shouldn't have broken up with him, Mia. She sighed dramatically. It's all my fault. I forgot to block you from seeing my post that day. Are you done? I asked, pulling my tablet out of my bag. It sounds like you want us to get back together. Chloe fell silent. A moment later, a refund notification popped up on my phone. I promptly closed the joint payment account. You like spending money on her? Go ahead. Use your own. I swapped seats with the person next to me and quietly listened to the rest of the lecture. Afterwards, I stayed behind to ask the professor a few questions. By the time I was ready to leave, the lecture hall was nearly empty. I looked up and saw Evan waiting outside the door. He used to pick me up from class often. Our eyes met. He looked desperate to approach me, but Chloe suddenly appeared and latched onto his arm. I let my amused gaze sweep over their faces before turning to leave without a second glance. Mia, listen to me, he said, pulling his arm free. She's the one clinging to me. I have nothing to do with her. What are you talking about? Chloe's eyes reddened. Evan, haven't you already broken up? Is she causing trouble? Is that why you're saying this? Evan looked at her, then back at me, his expression frantic. No, don't make a scene. It seemed closing the payment account had finally given him a sense of crisis. He knew I was serious this time. Chloe pouted. Evan, why are you so rich and so dumb? Are you afraid she's going to ask for a breakup fee? She used your things, wore your things. She's a gold digger who's been clinging to you for so long. Why are you still so nice to her? It's her or me, you have to choose. Evan's expression froze. It was as if he was afraid I would expose his true colors right then and there. I enjoyed his panicked expression for a moment longer, not yet ready to reveal his secret. Besides, proving it would be too much trouble. Let Chloe enjoy her fantasy a little longer. That's enough. I'm not interested in your drama, I said. I'm moving out of the dorm. I've already spoken to the RA. Staying in that room, seeing their nauseating faces, was more than I could stomach. Evan stood there stunned, but Chloe was clearly ecstatic. Great. When are you leaving? I ignored her. As I walked away, I heard her cooing. She's finally off your back. Evan, darling, can I move into your little apartment now? That reminded me. In our final year, with fewer classes, I had started getting involved in my family's business, which required a lot of travel. To make up for my absences, I had bought Evan a small apartment off campus. I picked up my phone and called my family's estate manager. Winston, that apartment I bought last year. Can you find me a new tenant? Yes, I'm not living there anymore. Let's rent it out. Winston sent over movers to inventory the contents. He sent me pictures. I stared at the photos, speechless. The women's lingerie and clothing in the pictures were not mine. The truth was glaringly obvious. They had been together for a long time, and they had been carrying on in the apartment I had bought for him. Winston asked me what to do with the items. Pack it all up, I said, and throw it in the dumpster. Anything associated with Evan was tainted. I didn't want it. The day I went back to the dorm to pack my things, Chloe for once didn't bother me. She was wailing into her phone. Why did you return the new bag you bought me? Do you know it was a limited edition? It's already sold out. She had him on speaker. I heard Evan's patience wearing thin. Those impractical things are useless. Money should be spent wisely. What's the difference between a real bag and a fake one? What's the point of you carrying such an expensive bag anyway? Chloe looked up and saw me. Her voice grew louder, more performative. But you bought so many things for Mia. Thousands of dollars on perfumes and bags. And all her makeup. You just won't buy them for me. She was practically shouting, clearly trying to show off in front of me. We're a couple now. I watched her amused. It was like watching a pathetic clown. Evan predictably had had enough. Are you done yet? If you have so much damn money, go buy it yourself. Why are you crying to me about being broke? With that, he hung up. Of course he was on edge. Not only had I cut off his joint payment account, but I had also rescinded the job offer he had from Croft Enterprises, my family's company. 2 months ago, he had taken out a loan to buy a sports car. I had promised to pay it off for him. This month, I hadn't sent him any money. Yesterday, I had ignored a call from the loan company. Unable to reach me, he had even gone back to the apartment to look for me. The building's security guard had informed him that the owner had changed and had him removed. Unfortunately for Chloe, she didn't know any of this yet. After being hung up on, she was furious for a moment but tried to maintain her composure in front of me. What are you smiling at? What do you have to be so smug about? Evan and I just had a little fight. We'll make up soon. You, on the other hand, life without a sugar daddy must be tough, huh? Are you so desperate you have to sell yourself? Her smugness was so comical I couldn't help it. I looked at her like one would look at a pitiful hopping grasshopper. Chloe, I said, my voice calm, my eyes filled with pity. Do you know why Evan, a supposedly rich man, was always so eager to please me? Before she could retort, I continued. Because I was his sugar daddy. Are you crazy? What nonsense are you spouting? She sneered. You don't believe me? I cut her off. Is he playing on a new game account with you now? Let me guess how he explained it. He said the old one was a couple's account with me. So he didn't want it anymore? Or did he tell you the truth? That I bought the account, that he never spent a single cent on it, and that I took it back after we broke up? Chloe's face paled, but she stood her ground. He just changed accounts. He said he wanted a fresh start with me. He was tired of the skins on the old account, that's why he didn't spend money on it. Don't you dare try to interfere in our relationship. As the other woman, she was, of course, highly sensitive to this topic. But as she spoke, her eyes darted around nervously. She knew better than anyone how much Evan valued that top-tier account. How he was always casually showing it off to everyone. All right, I said with a smile, continuing to dismantle her fantasy. And his apartment? Did he tell you why he doesn't take you there anymore? Chloe feigned composure, tossing her head back. He said he let a distant relative live there. I don't care about that little apartment anyway. I'll be moving into a luxury mansion soon. You can just be jealous. I snorted. He says, and you believe? Have you ever seen the deed to his property? Do you know who this distant relative is? If he's so generous, why didn't he settle you first? And what about your lingerie and jewelry that you left in the apartment? Aren't you curious where they went? Chloe's face turned white. What do you mean? The apartment is mine, I said lightly. I didn't want it anymore, so I had someone throw everything inside away. I did tell him he could pick it up from the dumpster, though. I wonder if he managed to salvage your jewelry for you. You're lying, she shrieked, pointing at me. I don't believe you, you liar. You're just trying to drive a wedge between Evan and me. I get it. You're just bitter about the breakup and jealous of me. She was determined to sacrifice her friend for a lie. There was no saving her. I shook my head in regret. I had actually considered helping her, as a fellow victim of Evan's deceit. I left her with 2 last pieces of advice. He took out a loan for that sports car. I paid the first month's installment for him. If you want to verify, you can start there. Good luck. From behind me, I heard her vicious shout. Get out. I won't believe you. I'm going to marry Evan and live a happy life ever after. And you can just be jealous. All right then. I would be sure to watch. After moving out, I threw away everything related to Evan. I also withdrew all my investments in him. The internship at Croft Enterprises, the job offer. It all disappeared with a single word from me. He called to demand an explanation, saying I was ruining his future. Croft Enterprises welcomes all talented individuals who apply through our regular recruitment process, I said coldly. If you're as outstanding as you think you are, You should be able to get the job on your own merits. There was a 10-second silence on the other end, followed by the sound of him smashing his phone against a wall. When I first met him, he was hardworking and diligent, with excellent grades and an incredible work ethic. After we got together, he began carefully asking for ways to access the upper echelons of society. He said he just wanted to broaden his horizons, that he wouldn't give up on his own ambitions. So I agreed. I wrote him a glowing recommendation letter for the internship that would lead to a full-time position. Even if his abilities were lacking, I believed he had the potential to succeed one day. I was curious to see if the Evan who had slacked off for 2 years still had what it took to get into my family's company. A month later, I saw him among the new interns. When he saw me in private, he snorted, "Just you wait. One day this whole company will be mine." Oh, a declaration of war. How utterly foolish. I had no interest in nursing a viper in my bosom. I simply instructed the internship department to give him some extra training. He couldn't handle. He didn't have the skills for the job. His reports were a mess. Within 3 days he was fired. He had arrived full of arrogance. He left through the back door with his head bowed in silence. That evening, as I was leaving work, I saw an unexpected person in the lobby. It was Chloe. Her eyes lit up when she saw me, and she rushed over to link arms with me as if we were the best of friends. I was so surprised I didn't immediately pull away. "Mia, I know everything now. Evan is just a poor, pretentious loser," she raged, as if commiserating with a girlfriend over a cheating boyfriend. I was fooled by him too. If I had known he was such a nobody, I would never have gotten involved with him. Before she could say more, I gave my bodyguards a subtle look. They gently but firmly escorted her to the side. She seemed unable to process the shift in my status, staring at me blankly. It was only as I turned to leave that she cried out, her voice desperate. "Mia, please, you have to help me. He made me return everything. I bought on Black Friday, but some of it was couture and non-refundable. He used my account to request a refund without returning the items, and now the merchants are threatening to sue me. Mia, we've known each other for so long. A few $1,000s is nothing to you. I'll never appear in front of you again, I promise." I was about to say something when Evan's voice cut in from nearby. "Chloe, what are you doing here?" He walked over and, seeing the scene, his anger, which had been simmering for days, finally erupted. He pointed a finger at me. "What are you doing to her? Why are your men holding her? Mia, I really misjudged you. I never knew you were such a bully." Chloe looked as if she'd seen a ghost. "No, I have nothing to do with him now, Mia, you have to believe me," she frantically tried to explain. "I don't know why he's here." Seeing her potential payday being thwarted, her eyes turned red with fury. "Get lost, you broke loser," she shrieked at him. Then to me, her expression pleading. "Mia, everything I said is true. Or do you want to get back together with him? That's fine too, just please help me." Evan stared, a complicated expression on his face. After enjoying the spectacle of these two dogs biting each other, I simply waved my hand. "Security, please escort them out." As Chloe stared at me in disbelief, I smoothed down my clothes. "I'm not like you," I said. "I despise picking up trash." After hitting a wall at Croft Enterprises, it seemed they got back together not long after. Both of them started looking for jobs, but with their inflated egos and lack of real experience, they faced rejection after rejection. So Evan tried to win me back. He intercepted me at my graduation ceremony, his expression full of deep emotion. "Mia, I know I was wrong," he began, his head bowed. "I'm so sorry for what happened. After we broke up, my heart was broken every day. That's the only reason I agreed to her advances. You know I've always loved you. You miss me too, don't you?" His gaze fell to the designer shoes on my feet, a flash of envy in his eyes. He swallowed hard, his voice turning tender. "Mia, why aren't you saying anything?" What was shoved in his face was a series of screenshots from my phone. Back when I had first discovered his affair with Chloe, in my grief and anger, I had still had the presence of mind to save the evidence before deleting the chat history. I stared at him, enunciating each word. "You only agreed to her advances after we broke up? Evan, do you have any shame at all?" He gaped, speechless. You investigated me?" I had no more words for him. "By the way, have you paid off your car loan yet? Instead of working to pay off your debts, what are you doing now? Hoping I'll give you more money so you can support your mistress?" Evan, the fact that I haven't sued you is already generous. If you bother me again, I can make sure you have no future left in this city. With that, I turned and walked away. But I had underestimated his persistence. Unable to get to me, he went back to the apartment I had bought and started harassing the new tenants. He and Chloe worked in concert, claiming the apartment was theirs. After the police failed to resolve the situation, the tenants contacted Winston, who then contacted me. Mia, if you pay off my car loan and give us another $300,000, I promise we'll never bother you again, Evan said over the phone. Otherwise, we're not leaving. We'll make this place a living hell. $300,000 is nothing to you, right? And if you don't, I'll expose you online. Tell everyone how you threw my things out without my permission. I played along, humoring them, letting their confidence swell. After hanging up, I sent the recording of the call straight to my lawyer. Coupled with their recent harassment at the apartment, I sued them for extortion and making threatening demands. The evidence was irrefutable. They couldn't even afford a lawyer and were sentenced to 2 years in prison. In court, Chloe groveled, begging me and the judge for mercy, first claiming Evan had threatened her, then that he was the mastermind. But her voice was clearly audible on the recording, cheerleading his demands. There was no escaping her sentence. Evan, enraged by her betrayal, tried to attack her in the courtroom. Amid the chaos, I made my quiet exit. Finally, my world would be quiet. The next time I heard about them was 3 years later at a company party. The two friends I had helped back then had both been hired by a subsidiary of Croft Enterprises and had worked their way up. Naturally, they were staunchly on my side. One of them told me about Evan and Chloe's recent situation. After their release, penniless, they had been struggling to get by. One day, while arguing over a cheap, $2 bracelet at a street stall, Evan had been scrolling through his phone and saw one of our mutual friends' posts. Just got a job at Croft Enterprises. Thanks to Mia for the gift years ago. I'll work hard for the company from now on. The post was accompanied by a picture of his official job offer and the mechanical keyboard I had given him. I had commented below it, "Keep up the good work. I'll get you the latest model as a year-end bonus." Upon seeing this, Evan had smashed his phone on the ground and started brutally beating Chloe. "It's all your fault. It's all your fault, you bitch. This should have been my life. It's all your fault. Why did you have to seduce me? If you hadn't, would Mia and I have broken up?" Chloe, of course, fought back, screaming that he was a scumbag who had just used my money to pretend to be someone he wasn't. In a fit of rage, Evan had picked up a nearby chair and brought it down on her. Realizing he had truly lost his mind, Chloe had screamed psycho and fled, only to trip and fall down a flight of stairs in the dilapidated building they were squatting in. By the time the ambulance arrived, she was unconscious. The medical bills plunged Evan into even deeper debt, and Chloe was left with a permanent leg injury. They finally truly broke up. And what was I doing at that time? Probably negotiating a multi-million-dollar deal overseas. After returning to the country, I ran into Evan once. He was selling trinkets from a cart on the side of the road, being chased away by city officials. As my Rolls-Royce drove past, he stared blankly after it. "Mia!" He dropped his cart and ran after the car like a madman. My driver glanced in the rearview mirror. "Miss Croft. Just a lunatic. I don't know him. Keep driving." He got a mouthful of exhaust fumes and in that moment probably realized exactly what he had lost. In the end, they both left the city. My friend told me they had gone back to their respective rural hometowns to eke out a living. "Evan's not doing so well," he added. "His family had started building a new house, but then he stopped sending money. The construction stopped, and now they owe the workers a huge amount. He's probably crying himself to sleep over his debts." I smiled and stood up from my seat at the head of the table, raising my glass. Everyone else rose with me. "To Croft Enterprises and to all of you," I toasted. "May our futures be prosperous and bright." Everyone raised their glasses to me. Then I turned and clinked my glass with my two loyal friends. "To us." The three of us looked at each other, then burst out laughing and drained our glasses. "To us." Unlike the maggots wallowing in the mud, we all had a beautiful future ahead of us.